The only way to be happy and content is by loving someone else away from yourself. What does Anochi Hashem Elekecha mean? In English. Translate. The popular translation is, I am God, your God. It's a little poetic. It's cute. A little unnecessary. What is the Eibishter saying? I am God, your God. Nice to meet you. Translate it correctly. Anochi, I, Hashem, infinite, perfect, bli gvul, ein sof, eternal, all-knowing, all-powerful. Right? That's what Hashem means. So, I, Eibishter, am yours. Anochi Hashem Elekecha. So what did the Eden answer? Na'aseh v'nishma. It was the right answer. Na'aseh v'nishma means, we're yours. Doesn't matter what you're going to ask from us. Doesn't matter. You're ours, we're yours. So imagine if a man says to a woman, I'm all yours. I am yours. And you say, yeah, so? So what do you want? What do you want? You have no neshama? The Eibush that comes and says, I am yours. Can you imagine that the Eden will say, yeah, so? Come on, I'm busy. What do you want? 10 mitzvahs? 10? Okay, fine. That's not what happened. It was a marriage. The Eibush that said, I'm yours. And how could you resist that? So we all said, we're yours. That's it. Now we're stuck. You know how much he is ours? We have no idea how much he suffers in order to be ours. Can you imagine the Eibush sits in heaven with a cool drink and he's just entertaining himself watching us fumble around and make stupid mistakes? Let's go back to Adam and Chava. The Eibush said, Eitz Hadas, don't eat. But he really wanted them to eat. Yeah? That means he lied. When he said don't eat, he didn't mean it. How can the Eibush lie? Well, he was giving them a choice. Not by lying. So the Eibush says, don't eat it. But really, he was saying, yeah, eat it. So come on. Eibush doesn't do that. Nobody should do that. This is, I think, the most romantic notion in when the Eibush said don't eat it, he meant it. Don't eat it, then you're going to die. I don't want you to die. But I hope you do. Because otherwise, how is the lower world going to get fixed? The Eibush that told the Neshamas, I'm going to send you down to the lowest world. It hurts him to do that. Why would he want to send a little piece of himself away? So already, just the fact that he sends a neshama is already, he doesn't like that. And then, not enough that you're in Gan Eden, you have to leave Gan Eden and go down into that ugly world. It's like a genuine king, a benevolent king, who sends his army into war. He hates it. But, you got to protect the country. But then when the war is over and he brings them back, this he loves. So the Eibishter sends us down to Mitzrayim. He hates it. Yidden should be in Mitzrayim. But when he took us out of Mitzrayim, it was his personal pleasure. He came b'chveidei v'atzmei to He didn't send the messenger, get him out. No, he came to take us. So when he sent us, it was like a message. But when he took us out, that's why we don't complain like, oh, thank you so much for taking us out of the mess you put us into. How does that work? You're in a terrible car accident and you come out unharmed. Yeah, who made the accident? The accident happens and the Eibishter hates it. But when you come out of it healthy and recovered, he loves it. So how important is the Eibishter's purpose in creating us? Important enough for him to suffer, sending the neshama away, like a father sending his daughter away, creating the Yetzer Hara, which he hates, creating the Avedis, which he hates, creating Golus, creating Hester Ponim, where he has to hide from us. All of this he hates. So if he's willing to go through all of that in order for the purpose to happen, this purpose must be not just good for us. So the Eibishter says, I'm so invested in this. I'm giving up so much to have you. You're not willing to give up your little comforts? The Eibishter says, every time you're in pain, I'm in pain. Is that literal or not? Or is that a mushal? Nah, not really. Not really? So what did you just say? If you're in pain, imagine how much pain he is in. Actually, you can't imagine. But you know he's in pain. Because your pain is a mushal for his pain. So the Romans were killing the Asara Harugi Malchus, massacring them. Rabbi Akiva and so on. The Malachim come to the Eibishter and they're crying. This is terrible. What does the Eibishter say? The Eibishter says, be quiet or I'll turn the world back into water. You know what that's called? Bullying. Shut up or you'll be in trouble. This is an answer from the Eibishter. If the Eibishter says, it's a very deep secret why this has to happen. Okay. But shut up. I'll turn you back into water. Listen. The Malach comes and says, this is so painful. Look what they're doing to Rabbi Akiva. What does the Eibishter say? The Eibishter is saying, you're in pain? Were they your children? You're Taki Malach, but they're not your children. They're my children. Did you create them? No, I created them. You're telling me this is painful? If it hurts you and you're just a malach, so then the malach can argue, if it hurts you even more, stop it. Stop it. So Abel says, what do you mean stop it? You mean turn the world back into water? No. See, that's a completely different answer. It's exactly the same words. The fourth Chabad Rebbe, passed away at the age of 54 or something, very young. And he was very unhealthy. And in those days, an operation, primitive Russia, he had 3 operations. So when he was recovering from the operations, he was in a lot of pain. There was no visiting, there was no access. So somebody needed a brucha. What did they do? There was one chassid who took care of the Rebbe, and he was a big Oyev Yisrael. So if a person had a problem, they would go to him. And if he thought that there was a moment when the Rebbe was in less pain or whatever, he would ask for a bracha for this chassid. One time a chassid came to him, Netzach Baklukt with his tzaris, And this chassid attending the Rebbe thought that he saw like an opportunity. So he said, what's his name? Bet Abrucha, he's got a problem. The Rebbe didn't answer. So this chassid started to cry that there was no answer for the other chassid's need. So the Rebbe looked at him like, what's your problem? So the chassid said, he's crying because Yenem, the other chassid, isn't tsar. So the Rebbe pointed to his bandages and he said, Unich. So he stopped the conversation. The same question. How does a Rebbe say, I got my own problems? This is a Rebbe? He's in pain. I got my own pain. This is not a Rebbe. What kind of answer is that? Can't be. It's the same idea. A chassid is crying over another chassid. Beautiful. How does that compare to the Rebbe's pain over his chassid? So when he asked for a bracha, the Rebbe didn't answer because there was no bracha available. So he said, but he's crying, he's in pain. Look at me. You're telling me? Where do you think my pain comes from? Not I have my own problems. That's not even a nice guy, never mind the Rebbe. So we have a very different picture of the Eibishter. The Eibishter's pleasure is more real than our pleasure. His pain is more real than our pain. His need is more real than our need. We are here to serve him. No? He's depending on us. So we say, we want Mashiach now. As if the Eibishter doesn't. I mean, who really cares about Mashiach coming? We? Yeah, when we have a problem. I have a good week, I forget about Mashiach. Who really wants Mashiach desperately? The Eibishter. So again, look a little deeper. We want, who's we? What is the meaning of that song? We want Mashiach now. Who's we? Everyone around the table? No. We means you and us. We, not we're trying to convince the Eibishter of something he doesn't want. The song is saying, we all want, you want, we want. So what's the problem? What are we waiting for? But it's not we want and he doesn't want, so we're going to have to do special mitzvahs to change his mind. A girl says, I'm trying to find a shidduch, I want to get married. The Eibishter doesn't let. The Eibishter doesn't let. The Eibishter wants you married a lot more than you want to be married. You trying to convince the Eibishter that you should be married? It's his idea. He invented marriage. He stays up all night making shidduchim. You have to convince him that you should be married? Or that you should have children? What, is he against Jewish children? What are you saying? So why should you be confident that you will get married and you will have children? Why? Because he wants it more than you. What he wants, he gets. So do I deserve it? Do I have schusim, sgulas? Don't make it sound like the Eibishter is not willing or cooperating. He wants it more than you. That's why you can be confident that it's going to happen. So like in a marriage, if you start thinking, but I need, you're stepping out of the marriage. You're there because you're needed, not because you're needy. You don't get married to fix yourself. You don't use another person to fix yourself. That's nasty. So every time I feel like, this is not going so well, I have to ask myself, it bothers me. How much does it bother him? My need is a mushel to remind me of his need. My pain is a mushel to remind me of his pain. See, if we had that attitude, I am here to serve him. As long as I'm serving him, I can serve my parents. If it's necessary, I can serve my community. I'm into the serving mentality. And the truth is, come on, it is so much more enjoyable to serve somebody else than to serve yourself. Who are we kidding? Oh, you have to love yourself. You start loving yourself, you're going to get depressed and miserable. That's what happens. The only way to be happy and content is by loving someone else away from yourself. You're home alone and it's lunchtime. You make lunch? But if somebody calls up and says, can I come over for lunch? All of a sudden you prepare a bar mitzvah, right? And you love it. If the person coming over is a welcome guest, of course. Cooking for someone else is so much more enjoyable than cooking for yourself. Loving someone else is so much more enjoyable than loving yourself. So the psychology bubamaisis, oh, you have to have a high self-image, love yourself, validate yourself, take care of yourself, put yourself... Stop it. You're making everyone depressed. Since this message has become popular, everyone is suicidal. What did you just do? Love yourself is like talk to yourself. No, talk was not created for me to talk to myself. Talk means communicate with someone, not with yourself. Talk to yourself, they lock you up. I have love, but it's for me. That is so sick. That is so disturbed. It's like a guy has $200 billion. Today, there are people who have $200 billion. You say to them, what are you doing with the money? So that's mine. See, what are you doing with it? Oh, it's mine, I'm keeping it. You're crazy. Why? It's my money. I know it's your money, but your money is not for you to keep. Aside from sharing it, invest it. No, he's got it under his mattress. Big mattress. $200 billion, mine. You're going to get depressed. You're going to choke on it. You direct your love to yourself, you're going to choke on it. So v'ahavta l'reacha kamoicha means first love yourself. Did you hear that? Yeah, did you ever hear that? V'ahavta l'reacha kamoicha means first you have to love yourself. Really? Thanks for reminding me. I keep forgetting to love myself. V'ahavta l'reacha kamoicha means you love yourself enough. Can you love someone else also? Not love yourself more. You don't need David to tell you to love yourself. No, but I hate myself. You're way too in love with yourself. So not only do you love yourself, you hate yourself, you talk to yourself, you keep your money. You're going to explode. Ivdu es Hashem. If you recognize that the Eibishter is desperately depending on you for what he needs in this world, then you will do for him. Ivdu es Hashem. The result will be, you'll be b'simcha. But if you're waiting for him to do for you, you're already depressed. You might as well quit now. Because if you need, it's depressing. If he needs you, it's the greatest thing in the world. What you need from your husband will depress you. That he needs you, that's a party. Anyway, that's Shavuos. Shavuos is when the Eibishter came and said, I am yours. That's all I want. Just be mine. We are together forever. If you enjoyed this conversation or this topic, and you're looking for more information, or you want to hear it again from another angle, there's a way to do that. And that is in this book. It's all there. Order it from Amazon. You can read it, reread it, and share it. I want to invite you to join us as VIPs, partners in our work, and join us also for a personal chat with other members of the VIP club. We talk about many things. There's an opportunity to ask, to respond, to make a comment, to meet the other supporters. And together we can really make a difference in Jewish life and in life in general. So join us. It's goodtoknow.org. Log in, call, make contact, and join us with the VIPs.